Do you sometimes feel conflicted about who you are? Are there things that you believe about yourself that might not be true? And are they holding you back from being who you need to be? Well, stick with me because in this week's episode, I want to help you to look at yourself in a different light. Hi, this is Grant Herbert, emotional intelligence master coach, trainer, and sustainable performance coach. And today I want to continue our conversation in the 9 crucial shifts that every leader needs to make by helping you to strengthen your identity. So last week we started a conversation around 9 crucial shifts that every leader needs to make in this VUCA, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world that we're working in right now. We talked about the fact that that happens in those 3 areas of personal, professional, and people leadership. And what I want to do today is start to go on a journey for each of those 9 shifts, starting in the area of personal leadership. Personal leadership is about who you are. It's the foundation for everything that you learn and therefore do as a leader. So it's the most important part of your leadership journey to work on. You know, a lot of people want to go straight to people leadership and things that they need to be able to get their team to work well. And that's something that's important. But really what we want to do is we want to work on the foundation first, the things that are about you. And the first shift that we want to make is around the area of identity. And as we said last week, it's about going from being conflicted to being congruent. And what I mean by that is the confliction means that we're thinking about past, we're thinking about beliefs that are false that we have about ourselves. We are confused about the behavior that we are doing, the opportunities that we're being given, and sometimes not even feeling worthy of those, and therefore sabotaging what it is that we're doing to make sure that we live up to that lesser person that we think we are. And it's about going to being congruent so that you feel at one with all of that, that you're okay to be humble, to be teachable, but you're confident that you have everything within you and around you to be who you need to be to get the results that you want to have. And for me, this was a big area and continues to be a big area for many people that I work with all around the world. So feeling authentic, feeling aligned is really, really important for you to be able to step into a position of power in your personal leadership. So the first thing that I realized and I want to help you with is where that confliction comes from. And there's a number of things that we work on in this area. And the first thing is to make sure that we look at any limiting or false beliefs that you've formed about yourself. So it's not what happens to you, it's what you make it mean. We've talked about that before. So situations in your past, whether it be as a small child or later on in your life, you made that mean things about you. External validation or lack of and things that people have said to you and experiences that you've had with other people have also allowed you to form beliefs around yourself. And those beliefs are powerful in being able to guide your internal dialogue, your thoughts, and therefore your behavior as you go through your life. So the first thing to do is to look at those things and to challenge them, to look at why you formed that belief and then to challenge it with data from your logical processes in your brain to go, well, hang on a minute. I've got evidence that that's not the case, that I can, that I am this. The second area that I do a lot of work in this is what I call the performance trap. And the performance trap is where you perform, which is what we do every day. You know, I'm performing right now. And there's nothing wrong with the performance, but you perform to get something. And where this is a problem with your identity is when you are performing to get approval. external validation from other people. That if people say these things about me or they like what I'm doing, that they are actually validating that I'm worthy, that I'm good enough. Remember, there's those 3 universal fears that we've talked about before: the fear of not belonging, the fear of not being enough, and the fear of not being loved. And a lot of the times when we are seeking to not have those fears in our life, we're focusing on them, and our behavior is then counterintuitive, and it can actually create those fears to come upon us. So in the performance trap, looking for external validation, approval means that we make decisions that sometimes are outside our true priorities. Sometimes they're outside our true values. And that's where this incongruency can feel. You can feel like a fraud. You can feel like you are pretending to be someone that you're not just to get that approval. Now, the problem is you don't always get that approval. I guarantee that you've done something somewhere in your life where at least one person didn't feel it was good enough. So the problem is when we externally look for validation so that we can feel worthy, if we don't get it, it erodes our identity. If we do get it, we feel great. But when we don't get it, we feel less than. Now, here's the thing. Your performance is what you do. Your identity is who you believe you are. And how you operate comes out of who you believe you are and who you believe you're not. I'm not good enough for that. I'm not worthy of that. These are the things that will dictate your behavior. So that's why we're working on this area of identity first, so that we can go through and instead of performing to get approval, here it is, we work on the identity. We build that up. We work on your personal power so that instead of performing to get approval, you get to a position of self-approval where you can look in the mirror and physically and metaphorically, you like what you see. You know that you're on a journey of imperfection, that you have things that you're still learning, but you're okay with who you're becoming. And it's not what others say that dictates who you believe you are. Identity is the foundation of everything that you do. So therefore, it's vitally important to work on that first. And in the leadership programs that I run, I make sure that we work in that area first, because it is not going to be of value to learn all these other skills without having that foundation built. Because without the foundation built, for example, if you were to learn communication skills, something that you need as a leader, you're not going to implement those strategies that you learn effectively because of the beliefs that you have about yourself, the inabilities that you might feel are still there or whatever. Identity was a big issue for me for many years. And I am very passionate about helping you to rebuild yours. The beauty of the human being is that we can reprogram what goes on up here. We can, through neuroplasticity, rebuild neural pathways. We can get rid of that unhealthy conditioning and form new beliefs about ourselves. You can form new beliefs about yourself that are going to empower you instead of holding you back. Well, that's it from me for another week. Join me again next week as we continue this conversation around these 9 crucial shifts that every leader needs to make by taking a look at the second shift, and that's in your intelligence. That's going from singular intelligence, using your skills and your cognitive intelligence alone, to multiple intelligence like emotional and social and creative intelligence. I'll see you then.